All right.
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, we are live. Let's do this, man. Let's do this.
All right. Well, welcome to Craft Beers Gone Wild, segment number 7. I'm Krunch here in Chicago, Illinois.
And Rajay out of the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area.
All right. Now, this week here, we kind of ran into a little bit of a dilemma and stuff. It was my week to pick out the, craft beers to review this week. I came up with the Two Brothers Sidekick, the Extra Pale Ale, and then also Revolution Down to Earth, the 21st Amendment Brewery right there. And so I went ahead and shot over the email to Mr. Rod J there in Cincinnati, Ohio. But what happened on that end there, Mr. Rod?
I got hit with the drama. This is the problem you run into with distribution with craft beer. Sometimes they're not everywhere. So with that being the case, I called around some different spots, was not able to get the 21st Amendment Down to Earth or the Two Brothers Sidekick, which I have had both for my visits in Chicago, so I'm looking forward to hear what you think of those beers.
And if you happen to get here into Chicago on the May 19th through the 29th, Chicago's got the Great Craft Beer Week.
Oh, yeah. That's a 10-day week, too, huh?
That's a 10-day week.
Do it big in Chicago. Like there you go. Got to do it big in Chicago for sure.
There you go.
So with that being the case, and I called around some different stores and checked my usual outlets, checked beer menus, checked where I could, and it just wasn't to be at this point, which I've had 21st Amendment here at some of the bars before, but it was kind of, I guess, sent to the bars and not really in some of the stores. So what I did to keep it all just straight Illinois for this episode, I went ahead and got a couple from a little brewery people may know of called Goose Island. And it's Goose Island 10 Hills. And this 10 Hills is their pale ale. And this winter, they had a Goose Island experimental that I haven't tried yet with Selenia and Millennial hops, which I like both of those. So go ahead and check that out here. So we'll make it an all Illini segment. Yeah. And we'll keep it there on the river. Not the river, the lake. The lake.
That's right. You're on the river.
Yeah.
We're on the lake.
Only problem area is on the river. So.
So this is the kind of a little problem that you may run into when you see some of these segments that we do, where you're not able to find them on, in your own state and in your own little area, and that's fine. The craft beer, like I said, there's so many breweries that are out there. They don't make enough to supply, all of the United States and then the rest of the world. It just doesn't always happen that way. They're trying to grow. That's good. But a great way that I have found, and as I was talking to Rod here before we went on the air, is that how I got involved into like really craft beers and really liking them and getting to know them is my girlfriend got me a craft beer gift for Christmas. And it was kind of unique because they sent me a 12-pack, which had 3 bottles of 4 different breweries and from all over the United States. And they would send it to me every month. So every month I got 3 bottles of 4 different breweries to try out. And I gave all the stats and the information. And so I was able to try out and get a really good taste. And there are some that I wish, were gotten big enough that I would be able to try them out again. Now, I like to go back to my filing and see if I have them. But that was one way to be able to try some of these great small microbreweries, as I like to call them, that are out there. So,
sure.
But
yeah, again, becoming part of a club is a good thing if you can out there. We actually have one. I would say it's I guess some of the guys in it might be a club, but Greater Cincinnati Brewing Society. There's a Facebook page that we have here that a lot of people participate in as well to share a lot of stuff about beer.
That's great. And that's, like I said, that's just a great way to try, you know, all the little guys out there and to give them a equal shake. So, all right. Well, I'm thirsty this week. Had a long week. Actually, we're having a bad week here in Chicago for everything from the Bulls being sent home to the Cubs and the White Sox, coming in, and then of course, as you remember last week, I had the whole Go Hawk thing going on. We're hurting. We're down right now. We got one more loss to go, and we're out of it.
Oh wow! I didn't. What's the series at? Is it 3-1 right now?
It's 3-1 right now.
Okay.
Yep. We're back up against the ropes, and we got to come out swinging. And unfortunately, Shaw went ahead and came out mouthing instead of swinging, and got himself into a little bit of a heat of trouble by throwing some homophobic slang out there.
Oh yeah.
And then I got fined and stuff. So they got to keep it cool and keep it together. And we've done this before against Detroit Red Wings, and we were able to come back and pull the series off. But you never want to get that far because you get tired quick by that season. We got a long ways to go before the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So. But all right, well, so I need a beer. So I'm basically going to head off the back, going to Warrenville, Illinois. Going to get my Two Brother Sidekick Extra Pale Ale there. Now this guy here is at 5.1 ABV, and then it comes at 36.1. IBU. So for those of you that don't, remember the IBU, so why don't you give them a little education on that, Rod, while I fill my glass?
Well, the IBU is the international bittering units that are used to measure how hoppy a beer may actually be. So you have the other one, which is SRM. And I can't remember what that acronym is for offhand, but that actually is the color of the beer. IBU is actually the hoppiness of the beer.
All right. So now I got the rod pour into this one here. I got a nice head on there. Oh yeah, 2 fingers exactly.
Oh, you're learning.
Not bad for a sommelier. Not bad. Now, we got it. It's kind of nice and light. It's kind of almost like a straw yellow in there. So almost like it's almost like a straw yellow and stuff. Very very light stuff. Got some nice bubbles coming up there. Still perking up in there. I like that. And a lot of citrus right in there. This is really green citrus though. This is green citrus.
Okay.
Almost like that grass hay kind of.
Oh, the horse blanket type?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, the horse blanket. There you go. That's what,
yeah. Now, I remember when I had that in Chicago, I actually had it on draft, so I don't know if the bottle's any different, but I do remember getting those flavors out of it.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I'm going to give this a little tasty taste and see what pans out on the palate here.
You should have a thing that says drink, drink, drink.
Nice and light, but refreshing. It's that refreshing light. I get a really nice citrus on here, almost like the lemon, because it squeezes my palate in.
Okay.
And makes my mouth right now. My mouth is salivating, wanting a little bit more. But it's that light, crisp, refreshing latte, which I would expect from a pale ale being lighter. Is that, remember we talked about that softball type of beer. This would definitely be when you're playing and it's a little warm out and you want a nice, cool, quick refreshment and stuff. This would definitely be a refresher.
Okay.
A little light, a little too light for the evening. Right now 7 o'clock here in Chicago, so I would probably this would be my last one before I head into something a little thicker for the night. But this would definitely be a great during that 2:30, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, heat
Yeah.
time outside, sitting at the at the pubs that have the outside seating.
Oh, okay. Would you say that's a good beer in Chicago? Because I think when I had that beer, I had it with either a burger or I believe the pizza. It could have been the wings, but I could think so many different Chicago foods could probably go with that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that could go with this because it's light and nice and refreshing there. I think a burger is going to be a little bit too big for this. I think this is too light for a burger. You would almost feel like you're washing it down with lemony water. I think that a pizza would bring out the flavor on there, especially with the pepperonis on there, any type of meat on there, the little meat on there, the greasiness will kind of pull it out. I just think a burger would just be a little bit too big. But then again, maybe a Chicago-style hot dog would be good because, with no ketchup, you're not going to,
I was going to say, Chicago, do you put ketchup on your hot dog?
You're not supposed to, but I'm gonna come out and say here when I'm in the house, I do.
See, I grew up in Jersey, in the Northeast, so I put ketchup on a hot dog. I mean, the Nathan's hot dog, and I got a buddy that grew up in New York that I always debate with who won't put it on. But I'm like, hey, did you see the new Burger King commercial with the new char-grilled hot dogs? They show it with ketchup.
Yeah. So this is actually, like I said, it's actually very good. Nice summer beer.
Okay.
Definitely a good sidekick for the for the softball season coming up. Definitely put a couple of these in the coolers and go. They're gonna head down to the beach. Good one to have because it's gonna be nice, light, refreshing, not gonna be heavy, and definitely something I would look for to purchase. During this, I would actually seek it out to buy this. I really would.
Okay.
So, really good. On the Rod J Spectrum system of 1 to 5, I'm going to go this one here, a 3.46 on this one.
Okay. That's actually pretty close because I think when I had that one, it was around 3.5 or so, or kind of in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Very solid, stable beer.
Really is. It's a good job by the two brothers. Like I said, it's just a nice summer. If it was nice and warm, if we had 80 degrees out today and I came in to do the reviews and stuff, I'd probably get a higher because this would be something that would quench my thirst and be right there nice and light, but not going to weigh me down for the night. So definitely good job with these guys. Really like it. And at the 36.1 IBUs, that's not bad at all.
Do you know how big they are up there at all?
As far as
the size of the brewery, if they've been growing or
the size, they have been growing really good the last couple of years. This year, I do believe they expanded two more Basque.
Okay.
So they added 2 more Basque to their brewery line. So they're doing really good. I'm hoping that but I'm hearing rumors that possibly something bigger is going to come up along the line and swallow them up, kind of like a Goose Island deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
the giant is lurking.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping not, but these guys are getting big. They're getting a lot of popularity. They're getting really good at their craft, and that's the nature of the beast. When you get really good at your craft, somebody with the money can come around and get you.
Yeah.
But kudos to these guys. Great job. Definitely going to seek them out and, see what we got here. Not looking for any information and stuff on the back. Good. Nope. Nothing. So, all right. So what do you got for your first one there, Mr. Rod J?
All right. Let's go ahead and get the cap off of this one here. I'm going to start with the Goose Island 10 Hills Pale Ale. And one thing I usually do, I don't know if you do or not, but I collect the bottle caps usually. And I keep forgetting with Goose Island, each bottle, they do a different bottle cap for that beer.
Right.
So unlike most beers where it's a standard one, they have special ones for each one. So I like to keep those in the collection. Sooner or later, I'll get something else on the wall where I'll have like all of them being shown up there, or many as I can.
There you go. You can start decorating your ceiling of their apartment.
Yeah, I like to put some up there.
There you go.
Hey, it's not just for mirrors anymore. So there we go. Get the 10 Hills Pale Ale. Now, I'm actually going to use a shaker pint glass, which usually on a lot of India Pale Ales I use like a snifter, but on a regular Pale Ale, you're usually fine along those lines. Even for this being an American Pale Ale, you can kind of get away with it. Not always my favorite glass, but right there you can see all the clarity taking place. I mean, all the bubble action. I mean, just a lot of lively carbonation. It has that clarity on it, and with a beer like this, even though Goose Island still pretty much creates crafted beers, being owned by AB and Bev kind of takes them out of that area. I still like to drink some of their beers. I think if it wasn't for the size, they would still be considered craft beer. So that's where that new category of crafty beers is being used somewhat around the industry. So I kind of still getting away with kind of using them kind of in that kind of regard. But the head itself has a nice rockiness to it. Came out at 2 finger, came out just barely off white. Should lace the glass nicely, it looks like. Nice amber color. When you get into the light, I mean, all the light shoots right through the beer, and you just really take in all the appearance of that carbonation. As far as the aroma, you get a lot of citrus jumping right out of the glass. Get a nice dose of orange coming out. You have some of the grapefruit. A little bit of like a tropical type flavor, which going into this year, a lot more beers are kind of having those tropical type sensations, it seems.
Now, are they doing that more for the summer ones?
Well,
or are they just doing that overall?
I think overall, at least this one came out of the winter batch. But I'm seeing stuff like with Beer Camp from I think it's from Sierra Nevada. They got like a tropical blend. I've seen other tropical blends from other companies. So I'm seeing, like going into 2016 now, more tropical and more sours as being the 2 kind of key categories that seem to be popping up a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more lambics start to emerge as well, because people are kind of wanting to go for some of that sourness and some of the sweetness, it seems, this year. So time will tell. You know, however the market dictates, a lot of these brewers will try to switch it up to meet the demand. But the aroma is very pleasant. It's a nice aroma. You don't have to sniff really hard to really enjoy it. And one of the reasons you have a pale ale and why you kind of want that wider opening when you drink, you're taking it in through the mouth, but also your nose is involved. So they work well, the combination together. I think a lot of people don't really realize why some of the glasses are crafted the way they are, why they say put beers in certain glasses. That's kind of the main reason. Anything you go to ever enjoy, food or drink, your first sense is going to be your eye, with your vision of it, and then your nose, and then your mouth. So with the bigger, wide-rimmed glasses, you can really take in everything. Speaking of which, let's take this baby in.
All right. Yeah, well, it's a good thing, because they used to tell me that, you know, I had to put the beer in the glass because they got sick of me leaning over the bar, grabbing underneath the tap.
Good bitterness. I like this one in that I'm feeling the flavors up around the front of the mouth towards the just inside the lip area. Get a nice tingling sensation. This one has an ABV of 6.2%, by the way. It comes in at 48 IBU. So you do have the hops in play, but it's hops up front. And just like you were talking on that beer, on the back end, there's not really any hoppiness hitting the throat area or the final swallow taste. Everything is up front. Tip of the tongue gets the bitterness. Flavors are working around nicely in the mouth, getting a pretty much okay duration of flavors. And on the swallow, it has that refreshing, nice, clean break. not having much astringency at all, goes down really nice and easy. For me, this is the kind of beer that I could put back nicely on sitting out on the deck on as a going into spring, going into summer. I wouldn't want to have this in a lot of hot weather, but I would like to have it in weather where you're getting that kind of probably 60 to 75, 80 degrees, kind of along those lines. If you get it too much in the hot weather, I think it's going to be too heavy on you,
right?
From some of the pale ales like this. But in a nice spring break into the nice early summer, I think it can be good there along those lines. You get into the later summer months, a lot of times that's when you start looking at some of the lagers out there, pilsners, and some of the other ones that might be a little bit lighter, the session IPAs, which will have a lower ABV. But I think all in all, as far as a package, this is really nice. Get some of the lacing on the glass taking place, as I thought. You do get the flavors kicking around a lot up into the cheek area, which I really like as well. You hold it and then you swallow. It allows it to stay around a little bit longer. But overall, I think it's a solid one from Goose Island here. As far as a rating, I easily can give this one a 3.5 or a B. I don't think anybody that likes pale ale will be disappointed by it. I think for the beginner going into pale ale, it might be a little too hoppy, but for a person coming off of a session trying to go to the next level, it might be a nice one to break into as well before they go full IPA. But yeah, I'm pleased with that one. Goose Island does so many good things though. People knock them because none they're bigger or they're owned by AB and Bev, but they're still a good company. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
If it's good beer, I'm going to drink it. That's what I'm going to tell you. So I'm not going to say, well, I'm not going to drink that beer because, Big Brother owns them or anything. I mean, I think, they do a good thing. They know their clientele. They put out good beers for them. There's a reason people line up when they come out with the bourbon brand stout and barley wine and stuff like that. Because, they do a good product. So why penalize them for their success?
That's correct. Like I said, I've known them when they were just a little guys and watched them grow and, nothing but respect for them. And just like any business, you want to grow till you get somebody who wants to get big and, buy you up, and just hope they keep your passion and your feeling, going.
Right.
That's exactly what you do. And, well, kudos to them and, great. Well, all right. Well, as you remember, we're probably going to jinx it. Here's where it's all going to go sour. A couple of weeks ago, I had that space rock. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring it.
I can't remember if it was Space Rock or you said Trump's name. It was one of them.
It was one of them. I think it was 1 and 2 together. And now this week, I'm going to go ahead and bring it down to earth with the 21st Amendment Brewery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, of course, anytime you're going to go ahead and drink a beer out of a can, you got to, get in.
You're not going to drink that out of the can, now, are you? You're not going to drink it out of the can.
No, but I had a beer in a can, though. So, I don't know about you, Buck, but this is how we do it here in Illinois.
And all the Illinois people are like, no, we don't do that. Down to earth, that's probably one of my favorite session IPAs, by the way. I've had it, just can't find it. Yeah, the session
IPA. Get out of my hillbilly there. What do they say? You can take the boy out of the trailer park. You can't take the trailer park out of the boy.
Yeah. You and Eminem.
The only difference is I wear my pants up, above
there
my
knees. You know what a belt is, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, this comes in at 4.4 alcohol, and then it's got 42 IBUs.
Ooh, you get a little bit of a hop jump.
Yeah. So as you see here, it's a little bit cloudier than the other one. Really nice guy. It's almost like that you know, like an orange juice. Almost
Oh
like that
yeah.
orange juice cloudiness. And you can compare that with the other one. You
Oh
know?
yeah.
So really good, as you can tell. The other one's still got a nice little head on it, even though I haven't really been touching it that long.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Two good quality products.
All right. So this one here, like I said, comes out nice orange. It's got a great little head on there. That's staying in there. I don't see too much of the carbonation bubble action going on in there at all. Holding up more to the light. Yeah, there. I
Yeah.
guess because it's cloudy, it's pretty cloudy. You really can't see them that well. But they're tight. They're little tight bubbles. They're
Mm-hmm.
not as big as like with the other ones. These are smaller and tighter, and yet more. So, different. I wonder why the carbonation's like that as compared to the other one. But that's something we'll have to get the the engineers involved in on that one.
Get the people back from space rock.
Space alien technology.
Yeah.
A lot of orange in there. That's citrus orange there. But good hops. Oh boy, that there is good. I actually just, as I talked about that orange juice cloudiness, and then we get the orange on there like that, and then it's got that hops in there right at the end. It really gets nice and hoppy right there.
Yeah.
Wow. For as much orange smell that I got and that I had to look, you don't get a heavy orange flavor. You get a little hint of it, but
Mm-hmm.
the hops of this and the barleys really you could tell this is like wheat. You can actually tell this is more. I instead of vegetal, we talked about vegetal and citrus and stuff on it. This is more wheat type
Mm-hmm.
flavoring. This has got a nice hay straw, flavoring. It's a little drier. It's not sweet. I was kind of expecting, being a session IPA, I was expecting a little more kind of sweetness out of it, but I didn't get that at all. I got more of a drier wheat, more flavor. Like if I were to have a little bit of hay that was put in here with that little dryness barley, more like the barley. Like you get more that barley than you did the hops. Hops would be a little bit more greener, a little more vegetable. The barley is going to be a little bit more wheat and stuff like
Right.
that. This is more weedy, more of that dry, weedy. You know what? It's like it's like I had the residue stuff of like the oatmeal. The oatmeal powder and stuff like that. It's like oatmeal and stuff on there. That's what this is. It's that barley. It's that powder of the barley on there with a little dryness. And I like that. That's really good. Now this is something I would definitely come back down to earth to.
Mm-hmm.
And I would definitely go ahead and have, especially right now, this time of the year, we still have a little chilly here. We're in like 52 degrees right now at 7:30. Nice and cool. This is the type of beer that I would go. I mean, this is a
Yeah.
perfect pair for this night. If I was grilling, I would definitely do your burger that you were talking about.
Right.
Almost make it a Hawaiian burger. I would definitely put this up with any type of flank steak, that thin steak there. I would not go. I wouldn't go with big. I wouldn't.
Like the flank steak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the flank steak.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the flank steaks are a little thinner. Yeah, I wouldn't go with like a big steak. I don't think this would.
Ooh.
This would go good probably with a bigger steak. It would probably match right up to it, but I would go with a little bit thinner.
Wrap. Like a flank steak wrap or something. Oh, put some avocado in there. Oh man.
Welcome to the Rod J Dinner Hour.
Well, we got our next idea.
There you go. Like I said, this is a really good. This is a really good pair. As you talk about pairing up, at the bar pubs and stuff, wings will go good with this.
Oh yeah.
Sweet potato fries, even regular French fries, and the regular French fries, even with the ketchup, would definitely this would work out and pan out good in it. So, that's definitely a big kudos for these guys here. All in all, like I said, I really like it. And the 1 to 5 rod J spectrum system here, I'm definitely going to go this one here, a 3.9.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that one is one that I could drink on a hot day and actually sit back and enjoy, because it is that lower ABV.
Right.
And for me, when I've had it, it has that nice sessionability about it. Is that a word? I don't know. It is now. And
it's on YouTube. It's now.
You get that little bit of that citrus punch with it, and you get that nice refreshing quality on the back end, and it goes down nice and easy. Now, it's definitely one. I don't know if I would put it into like that kind of that lawnmower type beer category, but it's definitely something you put your feet up on in the back deck on a warmer day under the umbrella, playing some tunes or something too, for sure.
Okay.
Or on the boat. It's very versatile for a beer.
Yep. It really is. And like I said, it's just right at that perfect point. So I'm really glad that I chose this one. Got it up because I really like this a lot. Like I said, for especially the weather for right now, this really comes in at a great, at a great flavor and a great point for me. So I like that.
Excellent.
So, all right. So what we got here for beer number 4?
All right. So I'll let you enjoy that here, and we're going to take a look here at the Goose Experimental. This one comes in also at 6.2% ABV, and for those that have not seen the bottle, this was one that was an experimental last winter. So it talks about on the label profile, Elk Mountain hops take a back seat to rich, complex malt flavors in this sherry colored winter warmer. So that sounds kind of interesting. I don't usually read them ahead of time because I don't want them to throw me off guard on what I'm going to actually do. But since we're doing it live, I figured I'd go in and read that. The hops are Celia and Millennium. Now, they tell you on this one, they tell me the other one. Oh, they did. Actually, on both of the bottles, which I didn't realize, they both are suggested on the back to drink in a Nordic pint glass. So if you can see that, which one here? Try to put one up there. Here you go. So Goose Island, I tell you, for a brewer, they give you a lot of information for how you should enjoy their beers. I didn't think about that before, so now I look next time because I do have those glasses downstairs. Just didn't use it. And another good thing they do is they give you a time frame. So they tell you on here, this beer will remain brewery fresh for 180 days after the bottled on date. They also, on here, it actually does list a 50 for IBU rating. So this will probably be a little more hoppier kick than the one I just had previously. So let's go ahead and get this baby open and get it into the other glass.
There you go. Yeah, like I said, beer is just like wine. The glasses, make a lot of difference in the flavoring and the way you taste it and the way you enjoy it and stuff. So, is there any reference pages out there other than just Googling it up that gives them like, I said Goose Island, which I think is a great idea. They give that to you right on the back. But if what if somebody wants to like say, hey, now I want to get like a standard set so that I have at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, there's definitely sets there. In fact, my wife had got me a set this past Christmas on glasses. If you go out there and you Google beer glassware, a lot of stuff will come up. Like on Amazon, you'll see what they'll show you, and it'll be like 5 or 6 glasses you can get in a set. And when you get one of those sets, it'll tell you what beers are best custom to use with each glass as well. So that's a good way to do it. What I find for anybody that's really looking to get out there and find some beer glasses, I'm going to try to find as a bargain. And I learned this last year from one of the other guys, what he does online. Go to your local thrift shops or like charity Goodwills where they donate stuff. And what is found is a lot of people end up getting donations or stuff in, or they get stuff from estate type sales and they resell it to the charity. but I found a lot of glassware that way as well. And it's kind of neat because you'll find some unique pieces when you do that from like old glassware from before. There's one I have that you drink certain beers in. It's called a cylinder, but it's a long, slender glass, and it's designed for certain beers to hold other types of flavors. And you can find some nice steins in there. You can find some pretty good snifter glasses, and you're getting them at a fraction of the cost. Instead of going to your local store that might be $8 for a glass, you go to one of these places, it's $1 for it. Nice. And you can really build up a nice beer collection of glasses on a lower price. So keep some money in your pocket too. And sometimes like the stuff on my wall,
you can buy more craft beer.
Right. And like even some of the stuff on my wall, you'll find things like that in there as well. That last piece I got, the Sierra Nevada mirror, I just picked that up last week or up in Hamilton, Ohio, from one of the antique shops. He had just gotten it from like an estate sale, and I think I paid like $25 for it. So in some places it pays a lot. It'll cost a lot more to get something like that. So it's always good. It's always kind of fun too to go out there and just see some of that stuff there and find some things that are pieces of history. Sometimes, I mean, you may be that guy that buys a painting and you open it up and you find Declaration of Independence. And then like the one guy did in a garage sale, he spent $2. Next thing you know, he's like this multi-millionaire when he donated. So you never know. You just never know, and it's a fun thing to do. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Goose Winter Experimental. I did get it into the glass, and it did have a about a 2.5 finger head. It got back down a little bit. I added some more back in. Now it's back to about a finger head. Again, with the Goose Island beers, you can see right through them because they are conditioned before going to the bottle. So you get lots of clarity. You get it to the light. The light on it, wow, you see a lot of carbonation. You can't see it out of the light as much, but when you get it to the light, lots of lively bubbles. And it has that pretty much sun going down reddish color to it. So it really is like that sherry, like it's mentioned on the bottle. The head itself is more closer to I would say a beige type head, and almost holds a little bit of rockies, but almost more of a creaminess on the head. We got some big bubbles and little bubbles in there, but a decent looking beer for your winter warmer. A lot of your winter warmers will have this look. They're designed to get in there and heat you up a little bit. So let's go ahead and check the aroma. On the aroma, like many of your winter warmers, the thing that hits me first is that spice type smell that's being involved in it. And you see a lot of times with beers like your Great Lakes Christmas Ale or Thirsty Dogs Christmas Ale. Some of those winter beers like to have a little bit of that spice action, almost like a little bit like a nutmeg type flavor. When you drink one of these, it almost has that thing where it just reminds you of kind of that Christmas type season, because that's the flavors we usually have around the house, the cinnamon, the nutmeg, those type of things that take place.
Mullet spice.
Yeah. And so the smell, like the other beer, comes out pretty easily, not having to take a big sniff to really get flavors out of the glass. You almost have on the back end a little bit of that sweetness from the malts, which kind of resembles almost like a soft licorice type smell. Mm-hmm. Kind of a candy sweetness, caramel, toffee type sweetness. But a delicious smelling beer for a winter beer as far as it tastes. First thing that hits me, the texture. Even though both of these are like 6.2%, and this one is like at a little bit of higher of an IBU, where I said this one was 50. The other one was, I think it was like in high 30s or something. This one has a little bit more of a watery texture, it seems. The IBUs don't jump out as much. They're kind of covered up, I think, under some of the other flavors. As you hold it, you get that bitterness that hits the front of the tongue. But it's kind of not as dry on the back end. It does have a little bit of an astringency with it, where you kind of feel that need to pucker a little bit, or you kind of the lips, they just kind of want to keep going.
Yeah.
Almost kind of a wetness on the back. But in the mouth, the flavors do open up. I do get a nice flavor towards the back of the throat where I can really enjoy the duration. It does get around nicely. Nice medium body beer. This is one also that I would not want to have probably midsummer when it's real hot outside, which makes it nice being a winter type beer.
Right.
But going into early summer, late spring, if it's a nice cool night outside, and you got the fire pit or something going, not a bad one. Not a bad one to have there. But overall, it's kind of there, but it's not there. It's like that mediocre type level. It's not really pushing the envelope any direction.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily sit there and enjoy it, but I'm not going to probably hunt it down. But at the same point, I do like what I am tasting. So it's kind of like a mixed type feeling with this one. It's kind of unique. I think for me, to rate this one out, I'd actually look at this one being I'm going to say a 3 out of 5, which would be a B minus or C plus plus, kind of in that border. It's not a bad beer. It's just nothing really to make it stand out to say, I'm going to remember that beer, really enjoy that beer, to really push me in that direction. I mean, maybe that's why it's an experimental beer, to see how people feel about it. But it's not the other one I have with the 10 Hills. I can definitely see myself enjoying some of this a little bit more. Had a little bit more of a body to it. It was a little bit more enveloping, that you really felt something with that one. Where this one is you feel something, but it's not anything that's saying, "Hey, go drink more of me" type situation. So,
could your price point also be the fact that, like you said, is something you really wouldn't be drinking in a warmer type day, but on a cooler stuff? So maybe if you were trying this out and we were more into that, let's say we're doing this in mid-January, would that affect? Because in the wine industry, when people travel and they go overseas and they try a wine, they go, "Oh my God, I love this wine! It's so great stuff." They buy a case of it, they have it shipped home. They get home, they try the wine, they go, "Oh man, why do I even like this thing?" Or stuff like that.
Right.
And it all plays in part was because when you're on vacation, you don't have any stress and you don't have any worries and stuff, and so your saliva in your mouth, actually the different chemicals are in there, so it interacts with the wine itself, making the wine flavoring different. But then you get home, and of course, you got here in Chicago, we got parking ticket. We got to worry about, what days we can park on what side of the road. We have to worry about the red camera light. We have to worry about if our Cubs are going to win or lose. We have a lot of different, there's a lot of pressure and stuff.
Right.
And so the chemical thing, and so that would affect, the wine. Does this have anything, because it's a winter thing, have anything to do with your rating?
It could. I mean, depending on where you're at in that mindset, that could affect it. I think if it was something that I was drinking this in January, I guess I look at it and think, what other beers are out at that time is how I'm kind of looking at this situation. And I'm thinking of other winter warmer type beers.
Okay.
This is something where it doesn't really set itself apart. This is kind of almost like the situation you run into under a lot of the mass-made type beers.
Okay.
For a person that has not had this type of beer before or something like that, and they may have this one, like you said, they may think it's the greatest one, right? But we're really only the product of our universe. So, for someone that's reviewed and looked at and tasted over 1,000+ beers, the universe is that much more greater. So then it becomes a point of, it's a good beer, but it's not a great beer because there's other ones out there in that category that kind of stand out a little bit more. Like no matter whatever year it is, I look forward to, say, Great Lakes Christmas Ale. And even though last year they had an off year, it was still better than a lot of the other ones out there. Or I look forward to Thirsty Dog and their Siberian Nights. And there's different ones that people have that you kind of know. Like, if you go get a Stone enjoyed by IPA, no matter what the date is, you're going to enjoy it if you're an IPA drinker.
Nice.
And with this one, if I was at a bar and someone handed it to me, yeah, I would drink it. There would be no problem with drinking it. I don't know if it would be a situation where I would want to reorder it or go out and look for it or hunt it down type thing. People right now are going crazy trying to find Founders Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
Yeah,
that's huge.
I heard that.
Right, and so that's not kind of in that thing. Now, you're looking at different beers and different categories and things along those lines, but it's a beer in itself. You kind of want to get involved in it, make it like an experience. So if it's food, we have the term like foodie, right? So people that can really feel the flavors coming off, and a lot about this with the wine and the food and how you pair stuff. It comes off a certain way, and you kind of become involved in that dish. Watching something like Andrew Zimmerman on TV, how he talks about some of the food, he's really involved in it. And a beer like this doesn't really involve me as much as some of the other beers I've had. It's okay, it's good. They probably are going to or probably sold a bunch of this, but it's not going to be something I'm going to say, this is something that you need to try or one of my other friends needs to try to go out and get. Versus like when I first had, Goose Island's Bourbon Brand Stout, and I'm telling everybody, you need to try to find this beer. So that's where it kind of comes to. So I think by giving it like a 3, it's kind of saying, okay, you're a good beer. You're not a horrible beer. You're just not doing anything much to set yourself apart from the rest of the pack.
Right. Yeah, so if I'm hearing you correctly, then basically you're telling us that you are the He-Man of the beer because you have mastered the universe.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that. I've went through a lot of beers, but there's guys that went through a lot more than me. So, but the fun of really enjoying craft beer, or kind of having those experiences where you're trying so many different beers, you're learning along the way, you're testing different things out, you're finding out what works better.
You file it in the back of your head, and then you go ahead and you try to compare this to others that you had, what you do. I do the same thing with the wines and stuff. Compare it to what did you have before and stuff, how you're going to rate it and stuff like that. And you do it all from past and stuff. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a great, honest opinion. And for those of you that enjoyed that and stuff, I mean, that's what he gives you. He gives you his honest opinion. And I'm just asking a question. I'm the, basically the devil's advocate.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do to really investigate the beer. Now, I've never had the Celia hop, so that's kind of interesting. Millennium I've had in beers before, and I've actually used them when I brewed before. So I'll have to check that hops a little bit more to kind of get more knowledge on that one. But and both of these actually, which I didn't say before, contain wheat too. So you mentioned the wheat on yours, but they tell you both of these actually contain wheat as well.
Mm.
But
I'm looking on this one here. No, the only thing it tells me is I can't drink this if I'm pregnant.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I hope that didn't happen to you. With those,
hormone pills I've been taking that's got my hair so long, you never know.
Business in the front, party in the back, right?
Sure.
I feel like we should have had like a Prince tribute. I don't know if you saw that earlier today where Prince had died.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I heard that. 56 years old?
57, yeah. Yeah, and they said that, I heard one story that apparently he had not tens, not hundreds, he had thousands of unrecorded music never released in the music library. So there's going to be tons of Prince coming. It's like so many celebrities die, they become even bigger when they die afterwards, but it's going to be a ton. But It's 57. You just got to take every day as much as you can, I guess. But
well, yeah, I heard he was here. He was here in Chicago over the weekend, in the hospital getting tested for something. They never released what it was, of course, privacy. And but he was here getting tested for something, and then, they release him. He goes home. He's in an elevator, and boom, dead.
yeah, something.
Crazy.
There's been a good amount of celebrities that have already.
And we had China, who.
I saw China had posted a thing about that on Facebook. That was something.
Yeah, she's only 46. 46, yeah.
Crazy. And then, Prince's protege at one time was Vanity, who was at Vanity 6. She died earlier this year. She was 47. So, it's been crazy. Well, I say enjoy all the days you can, right? So
that's right. Well, the good thing about it is that the alcohol kills all the bacteria and stuff. So just keep drinking good craft beer, and you'll be around forever.
Speaking about beer, one thing that I read in an article, which I felt was good because I'm burning the candle at both ends. They did a study, and people that drink beer but that also drink coffee actually do better because they counterweight against each other. They're saying the caffeine actually works against the alcohol. So just to say, if you drink beer, drink coffee that morning too, and you keep that nice keggish figure.
I had to put the kegerator right next to the percolator. Yeah,
I posted on Twitter when people were cracking up, and it's like I posted that joke out there about. Somebody said they weren't drinking alcohol because they wanted a 6-pack, and it's like, well, I'm going for the keg. So but good stuff is always there, and
all right. Enjoyed it, and for those of you that want to know what it is we're going to be tasting out next week, go ahead and hit up Rod J BeerVenture. Just type that in, and 6 pages of Google will pop up, so you can get them on any of those, links right there. He checks them daily, and he's right on the ball with you. He'll let you know what we got tasted out. Stop it out, pick up some of these, and join in with us. We always like to have a fresh face and view, on here, and love to hear your comments. If you have any comments and stuff. Leave them down here for you. Rod will go ahead and get back with you. If you want to know any more about wines or Chicago or anything like that, you can always get a hold of me at crunchbranding.com. Go ahead and hook that up and get a hold of me. I'll answer any questions I can help you with, help you around the city, things like that. But as always, thanks for tuning in. And I'm Krunch Kretschmar here from Chicago, Illinois.
And Rod J here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. Just remember to keep drinking good craft beer.
All right.
Cheers.